me Akosia, and I need to tell you this story because I can't keep it inside anymore. What I did, what I allowed to happen, it haunts me every single day, and now he haunts me too. Literally. It all started 3 years ago when I met, let's call him Kwame, at a cousin's place in Kumasi. I was 24, working as a sales girl at a boutique in Accra, struggling to make ends meet. Kwame was everything I thought I wanted: tall, handsome, with a good job as an accountant at a big international firm. He had his own car, his own apartment, and plans for the future. When he approached me and asked for my number, I felt my prayers had been answered. For the first 3 months, everything was perfect. Kwame was attentive, generous, and made me feel special. He would pick me up from work, take me to nice restaurants, and talk about building a life together. My friends were jealous. My mother was already planning our wedding in her head. And then things started to change. He became distant. The calls became shorter. The visits became less frequent. I would see him online on WhatsApp, but he wouldn't reply to my messages for hours, sometimes days. When I asked what was wrong, he would say he was busy at work, but a woman knows what a woman knows. One evening, I decided to surprise him at his apartment. I bought his favorite food from a chop bar we go to, and I took a taxi to his place. When I got there, I heard laughter inside, his laughter mixed with a woman's voice. My heart stopped. I knocked on the door, and when I opened it, I saw her sitting on his couch, comfortable, like she belonged there. Her name, let's call her Amma. And from the way she looked at me, I knew she wasn't just a friend. Kwame tried to explain. He said she was his co worker and they were just working on a project. But I'm not a fool. The way she smiled at me, that superior smile that said she had won something I didn't even know we were competing for, I would never forget. That night, I cried until I had no more tears left. I called my best friend. Let's call my best friend Ajo. And between sobs, I told her everything. That's when she said something that changed everything. Akosia, you know what you need to do, she said quietly. My aunt in Aflao knows a powerful Juju man. He can help you. He can make Kwame love only you. He can bind him to you so tightly that he won't even look at another woman. At first, I said, no, I'm a Christian. I go to church every Sunday. My mother raised me to fear God and avoid such things. But as days passed and Kwame continued to pull away, as I imagined him with Amma, as I felt my dreams slipping through my fingers like sand, that no started to sound less certain. 2 weeks after I called Kwame with Amma, he called for a breakup. Just like that. Over the phone, he said he needed space, that things were moving too fast, that he wasn't ready for commitment. But I knew the truth. He had chosen her over me. I felt like my world was ending. I had invested so much in this relationship: my time, my emotions, my dreams. I had already told my family about him. My younger sister looked up to our relationship, and now I was going to be the one who couldn't keep a man, the one who lost him to another woman. That's when I called Ajo back. I want to see the Juju man, I told her. She picked me up the following Saturday and drove to Aflao, a town near Togo border. The journey took about 4 hours. With every kilometer we covered, my conscience fought with my desperation, but desperation won. The Juju man's compound was hidden behind a cluster of trees. The place looked ordinary from outside, just like any typical home, with a small yard. But inside it was different. The room was dark, lit only by candles. There were strange sculptures on the walls, bottle filled with liquids that I couldn't identify, and the smell of incense mixed with something else that made my stomach turn. The man was old, maybe in his 70s, with tribal marks on his face and eyes that seemed to look right through you. He spoke Ewe mostly, and Ajo translated. Why are you here? He asked. I explained everything about Kwame, about how he left me for another woman, about how much I loved him and wanted him back. He listened without any expression, then nodded slowly. I can help you, he said through my friend, but you must understand what I give you is powerful, very powerful. Once you use it, his will becomes yours. He will love you and only you. He will obey your every word. But he paused and his eyes locked onto mine. But there are rules. You must never, never use this power to harm him directly. You must never command him to do something that would result in his death. And most importantly, if he dies while under the charm, his spirit will be bound to you. He will follow you everywhere, even into death. I should have walked away right then. That should have been my sign. But I was angry, hurt, and foolish. I convinced myself that I would never do anything to harm Kwame. I just wanted him to love me again. What could go wrong? The Juju man prepared the charm. It was a small leather portion filled with herbs, some powder, and other things I didn't want to know about. He gave me specific instructions. I needed to put some of the powder in Kwame's drink, and he will be mine within 3 days. The cost was about 3,000 Ghana cedis, money I didn't have. I had to borrow some from Ajo and promise to pay her back. As we drove back to Accra, the pouch felt heavy in my handbag, like it weighed more than just herbs and powder. Getting Kwame to drink something from the powder in it was easier than I expected. I called him a few days later, crying, begging for closure. I told him I needed to talk one last time to understand what went wrong. He agreed to meet me around Osu. My hands were shaking as I stirred the powder into his Fanta when he went to the washroom. The powder dissolved completely, leaving no trace. When he came back and took a sip, my heart was pounding so loud that I thought he could hear it. We talked about an hour. He was cold at first, distant, explaining again that he wasn't ready for a relationship. But then something changed. His eyes softened. He reached across the table and held my hand. By the end of the evening, he was apologizing, saying he had made a mistake, that he realized how much he missed me. Within 3 days, exactly as the